Welcome to the Creative Communities meeting. I'm going to ask Jamie if she would like to do an opening karakia.
Tēnā tātou, hei ngoi tātou, whakataka te hau ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga. Kia mā kina ki ta, kia mā taratara ki tai. Kia hia kena te atāpura, he hio, he tio, hauhu, hei mauri ora.
Thanks, Jamie. Just firstly, before we carry on, I just want to express my gratitude to our new members for volunteering to help allocate Creative Communities funds across our rohe. This responsibility can be challenging, and given our limited funds and the abundance of worthy applicants with each round, the number of applicants usually, almost always, exceeds the available funds, showcasing the richness of creativity within our community. While this presents us with a difficult task, it is a testament to the vibrancy of our creative community. So thank you so much for stepping up to contribute to this important process. And now we are going to move, I'm going to hand it to Nadia for the appointment of the chairperson going forward from July, I think.
Kia ora, thank you, Madam Chair. So it's my job now to talk you through and walk you through a process to appoint a chair that will take place from 1 July 24 to 30th of June 25. Until that point, the current chair, which is Councillor Christensen, will remain in that position. So this is for the next, it will apply to the next round, if you like, next two rounds, and will comply with all our CCS guidelines in that process. So with that, I will open up for nominations for a chairperson.
Trina, do you want to serve again?
I would love to, but yeah.
So I've got one nomination from Jamie. Jesus Christ, sorry, just having a blank moment. Do I have a seconder? Lovely, thanks, Robert. Richard, it's been a long day. Glad this is on YouTube. All those in favour say aye. Anyone against? Carried.
So the way you're going to carry on?
Do the next one. I'll get the nod from Kaya. Right, let's see if I can get this one right. So this is for deputy chair and will be effective immediately, as we currently don't have one in that position. So may I ask for a nomination for deputy chair, please?
I'd like to nominate Jamie.
Is there a seconder? Maxine, lovely, thank you. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? And carried.
Jamie. So the next is apologies. So we don't have any apologies, but I just want to acknowledge Alan Barclay. He put his name forward, was accepted on our committee, but has since resigned. So yeah, I just want to thank him for stepping forward, and for his own personal reasons, he stepped down. We don't have any late items. And then we've got declaration of conflicts of interest. So does anyone want to declare a conflict of interest with items on our agenda today?
I'd like to declare a conflict of interest for the
Yes. Cool. So with your conflict of interest, are you going to participate? No, so you'll step out of the room. Okay, thanks, Ellie. Sorry. What is it with names today? Does anyone else have a conflict of interest?
I do. Te Rōpū Manaaki Aroha Incorporated, I am the secretary.
Thanks, Maxine. And I'd like to declare a perceived conflict of interest on the application from the Development Board, as I'm the appointed council elected member on their committee. I've had no involvement in the application and it has no benefit to myself. If the funding is approved or not, therefore I believe I can contribute to the discussion impartially. Yeah, thanks. So I won't be leaving the room. Can I have a mover and seconder, please? Jamie and Maxine, thank you. And then I'm going to hand over to Nikki. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Can I have a mover and a seconder for confirmation of the minutes of our last meeting, please? The 4th of April. Jamie and Maxine. Thank you. And now I'll hand over to Nikki. Thanks, Nikki. Item 6.
We jumping to item 6 or item 5?
Oh, sorry, I was
So
just
item-
going off what
item
I
five.
said.
Okay, item 5.
Item 5. Thanks, Nikki.
Thank you. Good everybody. This is the Aotearoa Creative Communities Scheme Grants Fund, consideration of applications for round 2 of 23-24. The Creative Community Scheme is a relationship between Creative New Zealand and local authorities, which supports opportunities for New Zealanders to participate in the arts in their local area. The annual funding for both rounds of the Aotearoa Creative Community Grants Fund is $21,150. In round 1 of 23-24, 5 applicants were successfully granted $12,859.70. This meeting is deliberating round 2, the final of 2 rounds for 23-24, where a total of $20,386 has been requested across 5 applications. This amount exceeds the available funds. It's to note, in addition, one previous grantee was unable to complete their project due to personal reasons and has elected to return $4,600 worth of project funds. This has increased the available funds for this round, and the total that you have in front of you on the spreadsheet is correct. Also, as a note, to give you a bit of background on these funds, the availability of the grants are advertised in local King Country News, advertised on the council's website, Facebook page, and on the Aotearoa and Kawhia community Facebook pages. It's further circulated via email to ODC, Aotearoa District Council councillors and staff, previous applicants to the grants, non-profits, clubs, district schools, our email networks, our artist networks and creative networks, and through a staff-led drop-in funding advice clinic in Kawhia Community Hall in January. So the word is getting out, yeah. A little bit of background around the criteria. In the CCS or Creative Communities Fund criteria, it's okay, it's acceptable for an applicant to apply to consecutive rounds every 6 months, that's fine. It's also acceptable to still be completing a previously successful project whilst applying for another one, that's also okay. Neither of those things affect applicants' eligibility, and all applicants in front of you have been checked and okay for eligibility. In addition, we usually would show you the accountability reports from previous projects completed, but due to the high volume that we're looking at across all of our, we're going to do. Also, due to the requested funds exceeding what we've got available in the pot, It can be useful for the committee to reflect on whether partially funding an applicant is the best way to support their work. Partial funding requires a creative individual or group to spend further significant time seeking out other funding avenues, which can also be overstretched and exhausted. In some instances, it might be more helpful to decline an application this round in order to fully fund it the next round. And to assure you that all applicants are really supported during this application process before, after, and are encouraged to kind of, we very much support them and keep the communications open. Lastly, we have 5 applications that have been received for this round 2 of 23-24. The total amount requested of all applications for this round 2 is $20,386. We have a total of $12,102.52 available, which, so the applications exceed the amount that we have available. I'd like to pass it back to Madam Chair. And we do have one speaker who has come to speak to their application. Thank you.
So we'll hear from Rebecca now. Yeah. So Rebecca, you can just jump up beside Nikki. Thanks.
So I'd like to introduce Rebecca Dalman-Napo, who will be speaking to her project, Creative Threads, Wearable Arts Otorohanga.
Good day, everybody. As you heard, my name is Rebecca Dalman-Napo. I'm bringing this proposal. Sorry, I've just come off I'm running creative kids workshops and things at the moment, so I've just come off a day of that, so I'm a bit scatterbrained. Apologies. So I'm here to present for my application because I am one of the ones that exceed for the Creative Threads Wearable Arts festival show to be put on potentially in August. When I moved to I was a primary teacher up in Auckland, and there were a lot of wearable arts festivals and things like that. I've run and organised one through my school up there, Calvin Road School. I have participated in several over the years, and I just think they're a really wonderful way just to have a slightly different take on arts. It's also a bit more encompassing. You don't have to be able to paint or draw to be able to apply your creativity to creating something as part of this. So there will also be like an ecological kind of responsible angle with this, looking at recycled materials, upcycling things, natural products and things like that. Yeah, just, do you have any kind of questions about going forward? I could talk more on it, but it was a very long application. I can go over more if you'd like, or if you have questions.
I'll open up to the table if anyone's got any questions for Rebecca. Jamie, no? Yeah, just make sure you push your microphone, Richard.
I see in your quotes that you think gazebo height.
Yes.
Okay, now I know Mitre 10 and myself,
Yep.
we loan gazebos out to community groups. That can save some money.
Excellent. So that's really wonderful. Yeah, because the current location we were looking for size is the Otorohanga Club, front computer rooms there. There is a potential, this hasn't been discussed or anything, but there's a potential to maybe run it through the Otorohanga Museum. Through there, and then things like the gazebo we wouldn't need because we could set aside space. So this is just kind of stuff I've been spitballing in the back of my head. If the venue doesn't go ahead, we would potentially then need less of the stage King Ketwood because, for instance, the church has a staged area that we could, or depending on how we use it. So there is that as well.
Thanks. We don't quite.
No,
Yeah, has.
if you were like 7 to 13 years old,
Yeah.
then fine.
Has anyone else got any questions for Rebecca?
Or do you
Yeah.
want me-
Another one, Richard? Yeah.
Sorry, the museum, so in the church hall,
Yes.
so everything will be out of the,
Well, what we have you been? Yep, so we've cleared a lot of stuff out. The courthouse itself is incredibly spacious now, and it's gonna be displayed around the edge, and hopefully it will become more of a community creative hub there as well. So that's part of my role with being part of the museum as well. So I've quoted for there, but if I have to juggle things, I will put a proposal towards the committee about potentially there. Or I will look at another space. So we could run it through the courthouse, we could go through into the church and things like that. There's a lot of stuff we're making movable as well. It's just, hopefully more exhibitions there, but in regards to this, I priced it all out for that space. I've measured it where the catwalk empty go. It can seat 200 people. Should be great to get that. There's also, I didn't originally, in the original proposal, have much of a section about Kapia, but since writing it in February, I thought, having a special section for Kapia, because they have, Carol Shepherd doesn't know about this yet, but I'm going to tap her shoulder. Okay. About Kapia having a special section as well in it, because they have a really amazing creative hub.
Anyone else have any questions? I probably just have one.
Yeah.
And that would be, obviously you sat here while Nikki explained how many applications we've got and the amount of money. If you were only partially funded, like, could you get it off the ground? Like, and
Well, yeah.
like, how would that affect your project?
I really shot for the stars with the price, and I realized that with the amount I've put down there. I have already applied for a grant from the Lines Company. So I've been granted something from them to run some free workshops and to also make it so that school age children and students can enter for free. So that will be covered for that. I can cut things down definitely if I don't get the full amount. I can try and source the stage and catwalk, so it's a proper stage and catwalk for safety, but someone suggested that maybe there might be some platforms and things at the high school, or so that's somewhere, because that was quite a large chunk of it, because they're coming from Hamilton, they're being professionally set up, and everything like that is, yeah. So yeah, I realized it was quite a lot when I put it in there. Huntly's, I've been looking while I was researching for this. Huntly, also another small town, has a very successful biennial Werribee Arts Festival as well, show as well. This is a lot bigger, and there would be a lot more funding and things about, but just to get this kicked off the ground and to work out how it works, the pricing needed and things like that. I started like this, and then maybe future we could tie it in with Art Beat or something as well. So have that as a night part of Art Beat. But just for the pilot one, just starting to work out like where the funds and everything need to go.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else want to ask anything?
one more.
Keep going.
I like your idea with the museum.
Yep.
Because people can then see the museum as well. The other one is, would you have a rough budget for the museum? So you wouldn't need a stage.
No, so that would cut out a little bit. But it would be good to have some areas elevated, but
Yeah.
if we had it as like a walkthrough, so we had some people stationed sitting there, so that we could have it as a walkthrough, there are elevated spaces they could
Yes.
walk in, so it could be quite interesting that way as well. I will, like, when I was waiting on to see what funding things come with, and then I can talk to the committee about the cost of that and because it would also bring people into the museum. And then afterwards we could display some of the garments and things, some of the award-winning ones or something could be displayed in the museum so people who are unable to come on the night can come and visit. Any really hardy ones could be even put in the Christmas parade or something, like the durable ones. You could have a section of that as to help promote in the parade kind of creative community.
Thanks. Yeah, Al?
Yep.
The 4 weeks feed, 4 months feed in time, is that?
Yep, well, I've been working a little bit on all the bits in here. It was just to kind of distance it enough from the art beat happening at the end of the year. But I think as soon as I kind of know, I will start sending things out, opening it up. In the next school holiday, I will run some workshops for it to really engage the school side of it. And I've made up, and I'll continue building to a packet to take to the schools. So there's kind of a unit that they can roll out that ties in with the curriculum as well. And hopefully make it a bit easier, or if there's any interest in it, then going to the free workshops. And then they can bring materials, they can come even if they just need as a drop in to talk about it. So yeah, my brain thinks that 4 months lead in will be enough.
Have you got
At the moment, it is but once I know where I stand with funding and things, then I will put the call out if anyone's interested in helping out, and go from there. So at the moment, it's just me. As I said, the problem is it's just one. Yep.
I've heard quite a bit about these schools and students being involved in it, so I think I've got 2 questions as well. And the first one would be engaging with the college maybe would be able to cut a lot of the costs down. I suppose more of a suggestion.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm open to suggestions.
Yes, just because the facilities at the end, they've got the stage, they've got the seats, and they've got the walkway, and they've got facilities there to feed people. That was on the agenda as well. But also there's students there as another way to involve and engage to get that process moving, even involving the college, just to pick up engagement. Or I'm assuming it's the first one, wearable arts type of show that's happening. I'm correct?
Around,
Around Otago.
yes, as far as, yes.
Yeah, I think, well, that was mainly why I thought that would be good, because it can be hard to involve people the first time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the second one was more about, talk about children and students, but what about engaging other, artists or adults even, like what's the activities?
Well, so I have, contacts that I will send out some information email again, from the art beat and from workshops, participants in the workshops they've had in the past as well. I'll post it through all the kind of, I'll do, a press release for it, and I'll put it through all the social media junctions. I'm gonna have a talk to, shops in town to see if they want to somehow contribute a store specific one as a bit of kind of promotion for them, and utilizing waste products or upcycling things within their spaces. And that the adults are more than welcome to come along to have any questions or anything. And that's why for the first one especially, it will be kind of open to Waikato, Huntly, to other ones, just to get the numbers in, and then maybe people will kind of see more of it, be like, oh, yep, okay, I see how this works. And but that's why if I'm hoping that if I run some, have lots of kind of information available and put it out there, that it will inspire. Yeah, because that's why I'm kind of targeting the schools and things like that. Hopefully that will lift any parents as well. Yeah, that's.
you be able to merge both of the festival and the creative events together?
So the art beat festival. Potentially. It could be. In the beginning, I had thought of it as two separate things, just to try to work it out, because you need a space for the catwalk and bits and pieces, and that if we utilize the museum space as well, which is just a key stage, because it's something I'll have to put towards the committee. Then potentially we could have one set up, one place to run overnight instead. So that is a potential. That's down to I'm open to combining them. And for that, I will talk with the Art Beat committee. It's a couple of members of that, just that's especially because long term, I thought that would be a really good way to top it off, because Art Beat runs all day, there'd be good to have something at night as well to keep people in the town overnight the next day. So yeah, I'm not against it at all. I just had thought that maybe it would be a good idea to keep it separate. But if it turns out that they run okay together, then yeah.
Also another thing, because I've also did miracle arts.
Yep.
And another way to engage the whole people, like we had a pop-in group, which is an elderly group, and so I did workshops with creative hats.
Yep.
They made creative hats, and then they modeled their hats on the day. Just a night.
Yeah, no, well, I've got one of the, like, these two categories in there, but I've got to add a copy one. But one of them is the gumboot. So these two kind of wearable ones. So there's the Kiwiana Proud, and then there's Homers with the Arters. So that's kind of like drawing on our town, drawing the district's kind of Kiwiana flavour. Homers with the Arters means you can draw on your cultures and your backgrounds and the things that kind of make home for you. And then we'll have a kapi one, and then the other one is put your left foot in, which is either redesigning a gumboot or upcycling, modifying and doing something. I just thought that would be a nice nod to the rural town. There could also be, I thought about the head arts as well today, like the hat or something. So I'm just like, I keep spitballing things with it. Write that down. And so those things will just be, they can be made and they'll be set up in the entranceway of where we have it. So that's a whole display in itself. And that gives that kind of access point for people that aren't so confident maybe with creating a full garment or even modeling or arranging. So, but I want to tie in like the IHC. So go talk to the IHC, BD Home and things like that, see if there's anyone there or a group could put together, because it's not just individual, you can work it, the groups can enter as a group as long as they have something near it. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Rebecca. I think it's an amazing ambition, and I want to pick up on what Al said about 4 months. That's a huge undertaking with all your creative juices still flowing. Is amazing. But if no one else has got any questions.
Yeah, well, if it comes down to it, it can be merged. Like if I start getting to that topic, it's just my brain doesn't see the amount of words.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, it's
I can relate to that.
well, yeah, like setting up the workshops today, I spent way longer than needed. But had lots of 26
Happy
kids. So
So it was worth it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much for hearing me out. Enjoyed it.
Thank you, Jamie. Yep, got it. So I think now we will move into public excluded for our deliberations. So could I have a mover and a seconder for that, please? Maxine and Richard, thanks. And we'll just wait for the light to go off. 6, Otronga Creative Community Cultural Festival Fund. We have one applicant, but I'll pass that back to Nikki. Thanks.
Kia ora. The Aotearoa Creative Community Scheme Creative and Cultural Festival Fund application for round 2 of 23-24. The Creative Community Scheme is a relationship between Creative New Zealand and local authorities, which supports opportunities for New Zealanders to participate in the arts in their local area. This fund, the Creative and Cultural Fund, is a one-off boost from government to support established festivals that celebrate the life experiences, stories, cultures, and regional identities of New Zealanders. The full allocation for this one-off fund is $6,924, which when the advertising costs were deducted, leave us with a total of $6,661.34 for applicants. This meeting is deliberating the first and only round, which has been, and the funds have been requested from one single applicant. The funding allocation must be spent in this round. If it is not allocated, it will not roll over and it will be returned to Creative New Zealand. And these funds cannot be used for any other purposes. They cannot be folded into any of the other creative communities scheme funds. We present one eligible application, which is attached to this report. And the criteria, just to let you know that the criteria for this fund was quite tight. It's a one-off fund. It's at this stage, to our knowledge, it's not going to happen again. And it's to support creative and cultural festivals that have already been staged before. So that was the tightness in the criteria. They must have already been staged and have proof of being staged within a kind of 5-year window previous to now. Which meant that there were very few applications coming forward to us. We did advertise it very widely. So it was advertised in similar ways to the rest of the other grant we just went through, in the newspaper, on Facebook, with direct emails to artists, and we really got the word out. But because of that eligibility tightness, this is where we are, and I'm delighted that we have one application on the table. So I would like to pass back to Madam Chair.
Thanks, Nikki. Yeah, I went to Artbeat last time. I think it's fantastic, and what makes my heart sing is it involves so many creatives, and yeah, that's awesome. I fully support it with whatever funds we can give. It's an easy one for the night. I'll just hand over to you guys.
So as Nikki said, if we don't spend it all, it's got to go back to the government. I guess we've got to spend it, don't we?
I agree. I think we've only got one application, and I was one of the artists that was a part of the previous Artbeat, and we don't get exhibitions in like Tohonga at all, really. So I think I'm more for it. I agree. I exhibited in the first one. Opportunities for artists to actually exhibit. So let's spend the money.
So I think the
I also
consensus is,
agree.
let's spend the money. No.
Yeah, I
It's
also
really
agree,
appropriate.
use it.
So, yeah, so can we have the recommendation up? And so we are giving, like, our average was 5,896.40, but we've got 6,661 to 34 to grant give out. So, oh, have I got a recommendation? The Creative Communities Scheme Committee approves the application listed below from the Creative and Cultural Festival Fund and disperse the funds as listed to the successful applicant. Ka pai. Can I have a mover and a second, please? Yeah, did you get that, Jasmine and Maxine? Awesome. So we have no information only reports. Yeah, so before I ask Kiana to do a closing karakia, because Jamie said you're up for it. I just want to thank you guys again for stepping up, and now you know why I thanked you. Because it's hard. There's so many worthy creatives and groups out there, and yeah, I wish we had more funding, but yeah, from my heart, thank you, and from our community's heart, thank you. Yeah, so I'll hand over to you. Thank you.
Kia tātou katoa te atua tātou ariki aihu karaiti me te aroha te atua me te whiwhina teipan tātou katoa ake amini